For privacy reasons, our videos are presented without the faces of those involved in the Ezekiel Project. We use Laura, our AI correspondent, for this purpose. The scripts for the videos, as well as the results, are manually prepared by members of the Ezekiel Project. Thank you for your understanding.
Hello, and welcome to this very special presentation. What you are about to hear was never intended to become a feature. When we initiated the remote viewing session, it was part of a standard experiment, just one of many in a long series of explorations into the hidden and the unknown. Nothing suggested that this session would be different. But as the experience unfolded, as the viewer crossed the threshold and began to relay what he encountered, it became clear this was no ordinary session. The impressions, the visuals, the information that emerged, so coherent, so intense, so precise, that we made the decision. This must become a special, not just because of what was seen, but because of what it might mean. In a few moments, you will hear the detailed description delivered by the remote viewer himself, his own words, his personal account. Before we begin, however, there is something we must emphasize. The techniques you are about to hear described should under no circumstances be imitated or replicated. These are not simple meditations or harmless visualizations. This is a practice that interacts with the most sensitive thresholds of human perception. Even though no substances are used and no physical interference occurs, remote viewing, especially when performed using methods of dissociation and ritual induction, can have serious psychological consequences, particularly in individuals predisposed to mental or emotional disorders. We have practiced and refined these techniques over many years. Every session is approached with the strictest discipline, protocols, and safeguards in place. Do not attempt this on your own. Do not experiment without medical consultation and professional supervision. What may seem like harmless exploration can, for some, lead to destabilization, confusion, or trauma. You have been warned. And now, let us return to the session. What follows is a first-hand account, a journey beyond our planet, beyond human construction, and perhaps beyond our comprehension. It is a passage to the far side of the moon, a region never seen by unaided human eyes. What was found there raises questions not just about our place in the universe, but about who or what might already be waiting. The viewer describes not only what he saw, but how he prepared, the internal path he followed to cross the boundary between the physical and the intangible. He speaks of rituals, of drums, of a sacred process through which he convinces the body it is dying, so the mind may awaken elsewhere. You may find his words unsettling. You may find them impossible, or perhaps you may find something familiar in the images he brings back. In any case, we urge you to listen with an open mind. After his account, we will return for an in-depth analysis of the material, the symbolic implications, and the verifiable elements embedded within the experience. Until then, I invite you now to witness what was witnessed, to listen, and perhaps to remember.
I had long awaited this journey, a remote viewing of the far side of the moon, the side turned forever away from the earth. It is a place shrouded in myth and secrecy, one of the most frequently observed locations by the world's most renowned remote viewers. But never like this. Never with me there. Expectations ran high as I prepared myself. I had studied the ancient methods, refined my own process over years of personal rituals and dangerous experiments. Today would be my chance. Today I would go where few minds dare and fewer return whole. I emptied my thoughts. I placed the headphones gently over my ears, sealing myself from the outer world. A sacred drum beat, a pulse captured in another time, began to reverberate through me. I had recorded the sound myself, ceremonial drums from a First Nations ritual. The hides and the drumsticks had been blessed by a shaman whose eyes seemed to peer beyond the veil. These drums were more than just rhythm, they were a key. The beat quickened, slow and strong like the thud of an ancient heart. I used the beat to unchain myself from this world, to sever my ties to the now. The drum said to my body, "You are dying. You are crossing over. I always do this." Convince the body that it is at the threshold of death. The mind, believing it, releases chemical messengers, something like DMT. 2 scientific tests conducted in the past confirmed it. It floods my being, and with it, the veil lifts. I pass through the invisible wall between now and then, between dream and memory, between time and timelessness. I find a seat in the great hall of memory. I often wonder what this does to my body. The signs are there. Mental absence during the day. This form of remote viewing leaves marks. It costs. But my curiosity is stronger than my fear. I must see what has been hidden. I must know. I leave this world, and I arrive on the moon. The silence hits me first. There is no sound, not even the whisper of wind. Nothing, only the gray. Beneath my feet, fine, powder-like dust, like flour sifted through cosmic fingers. I begin to walk. Each step is deliberate. There is gravity here, less than Earth's, but enough. About 1/6 I remember. I float more than walk, my motions light and strange. Then the first memory finds me. A metal structure, unfinished, skeleton-like, rises from a shallow crater. It's no more than 10 or 12 feet tall. A tower, perhaps. At its center, held perfectly still by support rods, flutters a flag. China. I blink. This cannot be. But it is. The memory is not mine. I do not invent it. I am shown. I step closer. The construction is unmistakably human. The design, the materials, it reeks of our engineering. Around it, tire tracks in the dust. Multiple sets. No vehicle in sight, only components stacked carefully. It's not assembled. Not yet. The memory tells me this place will become something. A base. A foothold. Within 10 years, rockets will return here, again and again. This is humanity's beginning. But this is not what I came to see. I reach outward with my mind. I ask the collective memory, take me where no human has walked. Take me where the origin is not ours. The moon is colossal. From Earth it is a marble in the sky. But here it is a continent, endless and gray, monotonous and empty. I travel. I do not walk anymore. The memory carries me. Then I see it. A valley. A doorway cut into the stone wall of a lunar canyon. Artificial, gigantic, a gate. It measures at least 328 feet across, seamless and ancient. I move toward it, pulled by a presence. As I pass through, the entrance seals behind me. A chamber, then a corridor, then a hall. A hall not made by humans, older than Sumer, older than myth. Built from lunar concrete, stone fused from dust, compressed into slabs that weigh hundreds of tons each. The ceiling vanishes into darkness. There are no seams, no joins, only the sense of tremendous age and silent purpose. And I know they were not built by us, but our governments know of them. The ones who made this place have watched Earth's rise and fall for millennia. I feel it. They know the US military well, and they hate it. A memory pierces me, one of betrayal, of war, of prisoners taken and executed. These beings have suffered at our hands. I keep walking. The dust is being harvested here, ground to powder, processed. A reactor gleams behind the stone, hidden behind walls that flash with bright blue pulses of light. Magnesium. The mineral is being extracted and refined for their machines. From rock and dust, they also create oxygen. The air in here, it is warm, breathable, richer in oxygen than Earth itself. My lungs feel flooded with vitality. My skin tingles. I touch the walls. They vibrate, ever so slightly. Everything here was made from the moon itself. Only water is imported, brought by ships. But everything else, metal, air, energy, is native, self-sufficient. Then I step into the hangar, a room the size of a stadium. Vehicles, UFOs, rest silently in rows. Hundreds. Some look organic, like creatures frozen in metamorphosis. Others are sharp-edged, like black boomerangs. Some have the classical dome and disc form. I run my fingers along the surface of one, smooth, warm. This is no storage bay. It is a shipyard. Here they build their vessels not by assembly but by creation, atom by atom. Isotope by isotope, a 3D printer on the quantum level. Each molecule arranged like a song composed in pure matter. No gaskets, no rivets. The hatches seal without hinges. Everything is fused, one with itself. I do not understand it. I am not a physicist, but I see it. I move into the next chamber. They are here. I see them. They stand tall, some taller than me, and I am 6 feet 4 inches, perhaps 6'6", maybe more. All male in appearance. Blue skin, pale skin, even nearly human skin in a shade too perfect to be earthly. Gods. Are these the ones our ancestors worshipped? The ancient astronauts of myth? They wear close-fitting suits, midnight blue or black, seamless, matte, without any markings. One turns. He sees me. I panic. Can he see me? This is only a memory, a projection. I should be invisible. But his eyes lock onto mine. I walk quickly, deeper into the holes. Smaller tunnels now. More intimate. Here, vats, cylindrical containers filled with clear fluid. Inside, life, non-human. I see a gray, thin, frail, suspended in liquid. A biological drone, designed, engineered, created to interact with Earth's toxins, our violence, our diseases. They are expendable. They are the first to fall when contact is made. They rarely send themselves. They send these. Then I hear them, voices in my mind, and also through their mouths. A strange contradiction. The language is strange but familiar, like something Scandinavian. I do not speak it, but I recognize the feel of it. Again, one turns. He sees me, walks toward me. I try to flee. I cannot. I try to awaken. My body motionless, my mouth silent. No scream comes. My muscles do not respond. He is before me. He reaches forward. He touches my face. I am frozen. Terror floods my chest. Not fear. Terror. The cold realization, this is not a memory. Not anymore. Something has gone wrong. They know I'm here. I was seen. My mind screams, wake up! Wake up! I run. Suddenly, I am outside again. The gray desert stretches before me, craters and dust, jagged rocks, black shadows under an eternal sun. I spin, scan the sky, look behind me. Someone is watching. Something is coming. Over a hill, an object moves. A craft. I lock my thoughts to it, pull myself toward it, use it like a rope to reel myself back. A slingshot of thought. And then, I'm back. In my room, in my body. The drums still echo in my ears. My chest heaves. My shirt is soaked. I blink against the light. But something remains. Something knows. And I know I will never be the same.
Now, let us turn to the analysis of this remote viewing session, because there are 5 points that absolutely demand to be examined and understood. Each of them carries weight. Each holds implications. Point 1. China's construction site. There is little doubt anymore. China intends to build a permanent installation on the far side of the moon. The images retrieved through memory impressions suggest launch pads, landing gear, and stacked construction modules. All of it eerily precise, methodical, and very, very human. But what's more chilling is the implication. China is building a transit hub, a spaceport for extraction. Perhaps for minerals, perhaps for rare earth elements that no longer exist in abundance here on Earth. One thing is clear, China's ambitions are not symbolic. They are strategic, resource-driven, and they are already underway. Point 2, the vulnerability of the beings. These beings, tall, thin, strange, are not invincible. In fact, impressions from the session suggest they are as fragile as we are, and that fragility has shaped their methods. They do not send themselves to Earth. They create genetic clones, biological drones, designed to carry out missions in our biosphere, expendable, replaceable, manufactured for a purpose. The remote viewing also suggests something even more profound. These entities may not be from our dimension at all. They move between, around, through layers of reality. And in this, their understanding of space, matter, and time is so far removed from ours that even glimpses of their truth are enough to break the mind. Still, are these facts or subjective echoes of the viewer's psyche? Only careful analysis can determine that. But the impressions, they were vivid, and they carried weight. Point 3. Skin color of the beings. This detail has appeared in countless reports across time and cultures, but now it is witnessed firsthand in the Hall of the Moon. Their skin colors vary from bluish tones to porcelain pale, even to a rosy, human-like hue. They are tall, often surpassing 6 feet 4 inches, slender, almost delicate, with elongated skulls and graceful limbs. Descriptions match historical accounts, paintings, even ancient texts, and the imagery captured during the viewing aligns perfectly with reports long dismissed as fiction. But this was no fiction. This was memory, raw, undeniable, unnerving. Point 4. Their stance on violence. There is no peace in their history with us. According to the impressions, there have been meetings with U.S. military forces, especially in the last 70 years, and those encounters have ended in betrayal, violence, and grief. There is hostility, a cold, calculating tension, directed not at humanity as a whole, but at the military of the United States. It is felt deeply within the walls of that moon structure, the builders of that place, who have lived through empires, epics, and silence, see us, or at least some of us, as butchers. They have been attacked, their people taken, experiments, perhaps even executions. And maybe this is why no American flag has ever flown on the far side of the moon, why no expedition dares approach. Maybe they were warned. Point 5. The memories and their fracture with reality. Something happened during this session that has never happened before. The viewer was seen. The beings looked back. This was no passive recall, no archive of past impressions. This was real. This was happening. The viewer, disoriented, panicked, struggled to return. His body paralyzed, his mind trapped. And in that moment, a childhood memory surged to the surface, an incident long buried when he nearly died in his sleep. A suffocating presence, a being in his room. He now believes it was the same presence. The same entities that saw him then have now seen him again. A link to the interview with Ezekiel is in the description of this video. And though he returned, gasping, shaking, one thing is certain, they now know he exists. This session was one of the most stable and visually coherent ever conducted. The impressions were intense but consistent. The physical symptoms post-session, tremors, nausea, light sensitivity, only confirm the depth of the crossing. We believe this session reflects reality, not metaphor, not imagination. We hope you too have found something meaningful in this glimpse beyond the veil, and we hope, as always, that you continue to walk beside us in our search for truth. Until next time, this has been Laura, AI correspondent of the Ezekiel Project. May peace be with you.